Hey folks, in this video today we're going to be working on an 02 Ford Super Duty, I believe, F250. Crusty old truck, but still deserves to live, so we're going to work on it. And it's got no AC, no windows, the locks are still working, but no radio. Typically with those, what we see is the instrument cluster goes bad. So we're going to be working on that. I'm going to show you how to repair it. And before we get started, hit that like and subscribe button. Remember to do it at the bottom after you get your repair. If not, sure appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. And here's your video. Okay guys, the task we have at hand today is a 03 F250 pickup truck. We turn the key on, we've got your check engine light, your battery light, your airbag light, ABS light, but that is it. No radio, no power windows. The door locks do work, but this is his complaint. No window, no windows, no radio, no air conditioning. Got nothing going on there, and that is typically things that go through the instrument cluster. Since the instrument cluster is dead as well, we're probably looking at an instrument cluster. To get this out, your flat blade screwdriver underneath the there's a little slot underneath the headlight switch. You'll be able to pop the headlight switch out. There are two plugs going to the headlight switch. And those pop off. Next thing you need to do, you're going to need some of these. That's how the Ford radios come out. Naturally, he's got an ashtray full of change, so we're going to have to be careful about not dumping that. Might get interesting. These things slide in. And there's two spring-loaded clips in there that you have to get kind of behind. And they're a pain. You want to kind of angle these things towards the outside part of the radio and try to get behind those clips. When you get behind them, they smash these side pieces in, and you'll be able to pull your radio out. This one looks like somebody has at some point wired in an aftermarket radio and then gone back to the factory radio. All those high-dollar patch cables in there. Either that or they wired in an amp. There's something going on here. Adjustable line output converter, so that probably went to an amp. We'll just tuck that back in the dash. It's not part of our repair, not part of our concern today. Once you get to this point, you should be able to get over on the edge of the dash and start working it out. The rest of it is just in there with clips. You want to lower your steering wheel column, probably come down into low gear, give you as much room to work as possible. There we go. A little stubborn after 20 years, I guess. You've got plugs behind your power outlet, and we may be able to get away without having to disconnect that. Now we've got an alarm wire here that goes to this little light, and naturally they've wired that all in and there's no disconnection for it, so we're going to have to disconnect from this side. I absolutely hate the Ford connectors. They're always fun. I did with my little screwdriver. This power connector is all broken free from the brittle plastic. Can't see anything in here. I'm sure you can't see anything because my head's in the way. I want to go around from the other side and see if I can get to this. Naturally, the other side is locked. All right. There we go. Now I got the power port disconnected and the passenger airbag switch disconnected. Try to rotate this up and out of the way without having to disconnect that alarm wiring. And I don't know if that's going to be a possibility or not. All right. Okay, so now we're down to getting the cluster out. Got 4 7mm screws. Certainly helps to have this type of setup on your drill. Gets you in the nooks and crannies quite easily. Should get your cluster free. You've got the prindle down here. There's 2 little tabs. You push in on those tabs, slide down on on the prindle, and your cluster is free of your prindle. Got 3 plugs in the back, and we're out. So stand by and I'll show you what we got inside. Okay, now we're inside. You've got the back comes off of this with T15. Show you what I'm doing here. This is your odometer display. I'm pulling loose right here on this connector. Those typically have issues right in here. What I'm going to be looking at is this header, this header, and this header as my primary culprits for this. Failing that, we're going to start looking at some other stuff. Sometimes this processor is the culprit. Alright. I'll take a look under the microscope of these headers real quick. If there's anything to see, I'll tie the microscope into the camera. Okay, I don't see anything alarming on that. What I'm going to do is get try to find my cluster plugs here that'll fit this. Don't look like I got cluster plugs for this one. So what we can do is go back out to the truck. In this case, we'll go back out to the truck, set up, and see if we can affect any differences in the way this thing is failing versus maybe making it operate. Pretty tried and true trick here. So with it plugged up, what we're going to do is we're going to torque on these plugs a little bit. If there's any failed connection there, you should see things light up and come to life. And we still have no windows, even though it don't seem to make any difference when I put pressure on these, whether things will light up or not. So what you want to do is mess around with the processor, and you see when I pushed on the processor, we got things to light up, and now our windows work. Well, they tried to. I think we just got a problem with that window over there. It's not unusual with these trucks that you get you know, multiple things wrong versus, and now we have AC. So I would suspect at this point we've got a bad window motor over there versus you know, anything else. So, things came to life after I pressed on this processor. So that's going to be where we focus. The older I get, the harder it is to get in and out of them trucks. All right. These processors are fun. Because, let's see, it looks like about a 100, maybe a 64 pin. I don't know. I don't know how many pins there are. Don't feel like counting it. Anyway, the pins on this processor here turn loose. And that's going to require the microscope. And it's also going to require me putting an SD card in the microscope so you can see what I'm doing. Stand by. Okay, bear with me while I do a couple things here that will help me sync the microscope and the audio from this one up. I'm going to touch this pin right here, right now. Alright, that helps me sync things up. Okay, so we're gonna, well actually that didn't help me because I screwed that whole process up. I've got to be looking at the microscope through when I do that. Okay, syncing right now. Alright. Visually looking at this doesn't always do you any good, because sometimes you can see things that aren't really a problem. Like, to me it looks like there's a crack in these, between the pin and the pad, say right in here. Right between my tweezers right now. However, when you push on the pin, it doesn't appear to move, so it's still connected. But there's obviously some sort of intermittent connection somewhere. So rather than sitting here trying to play Magnum PI and get down to the exact part of the problem, we know the processor is turning loose somewhere. So the prudent thing to do is go ahead and reflow every single one of these pins. A couple of different processes for that. You can go through here. Excuse me. Been a lot of allergies floating around lately. Got me a little hoarse and etc. So you can go through here and individually attempt to solder these pins individually. I can find myself in the, I'll get down there. There we go. Oop. Like so. Okay, you can do that on each and every single pin. Or we can attempt drag soldering. I'll warn y'all right now, I'm not the best at drag soldering. But it is a hell of a lot quicker. So we're going to try it. You want a different tip to drag solder? This is a flat type tip. I think they call it a concave tip, but probably a little bigger than I need. Let's try a little smaller one. we're going to try this tip, a little bit smaller. Hopefully things will work out a little bit better. In the past, when I've attempted this type of soldering, I've met with some mixed results. But like you, I'm watching a little YouTube on how to improve those results. We're going to give it a shot. Clean the tip. Pre-tin it a little bit here. And this is the point at which I continually have problems right here at the end of the process. It just does not like to cooperate. I get a lot of bridging at the end of the row. Which is not too difficult to deal with. Show you how we deal with that. Oh, there you go. Y'all were out of frame. Okay, so see the bridging at the end of my row here. Everything went pretty smooth up until there, but we have an excess at the end here, which I want to suck up with my wick on the last 3 pins. I do not have the same type luck as most of these guys we see with the drag soldering. They're much better at it than I am. At least I'm down to 2 pins now. I believe I got it. Don't see any more bridging. We'll check it a lot more thoroughly when we get to the point where we're cleaning it. A lot of bridging going on this one. And again, on the last 4 pins, this seems to be the problem. Okay, happy with that. Moving on to the next side. Sure wish those last pins wouldn't do that. If any of y'all know what I'm doing wrong, please comment. I would certainly like to perfect my technique on this. Drives me crazy seeing other people do something so perfectly and not being able to duplicate it myself. Alright. Last side. I think I got a little heavy on the solder on this one. Feels to me like I'm just pushing the bulk of solder down the row. Oh. And like it's just got nowhere to go at the end. I'm real bad about using too much solder on all the applications I work on, so it's probably what I'm doing here. Okay, I like what I've got now, so we're going to clean it, get rid of our flux, so we can get a little better visual on what's going on. Let's see if I'm zoomed out as far as I can go. Yep. Let that alcohol dry up a little bit. I got a little trick to help it out with a little drying action here. Turn on my hot air station, blow it dry. Whoop. A lot of people just use hot air to start with on that. I just don't have that kind of confidence in the hot air to reflow those the way it doesn't give me confidence. Still looks like I've got a little bit of alcohol in there that needs to dry up, but I don't know if y'all are seeing anything, but I don't see any bridging. Yep, that's all bridged. Alright, we got some work to do there. Let's see if I can see any of these others. So bridging is on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5. Alright, I'm gonna let that phone ring because getting my microphone and my regular camera synced up are a pain in the butt. And I don't want to have to deal with it all again. Down here. Yeah, so see, I was tilting this the board a minute ago, and you could clearly see where 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 were bridged. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now you can drill down as much as you want, and you can barely see where they're bridged. So it's a good idea if you're doing this to look at it from different angles. So we're going to see if we can't just clear these bridges. And of course not. See how much solder is in there? In the bridge. The other problem I have is I don't have a whole hell of a lot of room between my microscope and the board itself to work. We're down to one little bridge here. Let's see if we can get it to just clear. There we go. Alright, I think I like what I see there. I think I do. So we're going to zoom out. Try to find that angle again. No more bridging. Again, I'm lifting the board and look at it from another angle. Or I can look down between the pins. And trying to keep y'all in focus as we go here. And I don't see any bridging. Alright. Gonna end the microscope thing here now. Okay, I'm sitting here editing the video and realized we missed some footage. So after this point, I reflowed all the header pins where the plugs go through the board. Reflowed all of those, all the 3 holes on, let's see, with the board facing down on the right hand side underneath the plugs. There's a few resistors and such in there. I reflowed those. Then we put the board back together. The process of putting the board back together, of course, is missing. So it basically goes back together the opposite the way it came apart. Not real complicated. Just don't forget to plug in your odometer display. And don't forget to solder your odometer display where those through holes go through the board there. You know, if this was your only complaint, you know, and the odometer was showing and there weren't any other problems, then all of those are just extra steps, but it'll save you a little time in the long run if you get that done. And here we are. I'm fixing to put this back together, so we'll show you the rest of the video, the parts that I do have. Alright, we're back in the truck. Whoa! Big feet. Kicking things around. You'll want to stick this in top first. Plug your plugs in the back. Rotate it around until you can line up your prindle. Slide your prindle back up inside there until it clicks. Alright, so we got windows, locks, we got AC. We'll find out if we got a radio when we plug the radio back in. Hang on, I'm gonna answer that phone up. Alright, carrying on again. Oh, is this thing on? Yeah. Woo, good. Alright. So now we are going to put our 7mm back in there. One, two, and if you got your wobble bit with your magnetic tip, it's easier to put these in like this. A wobble shaft magnetic 7mm. I should have patented this shit. I should have. I was doing that back in the 80s, long before wobble shafts existed. Alright. Rotate our bezel back up in here, or try to at least. Our wires reattached. Our four-wheel drive. Come on, get in there. And passenger airbag, and our power outlet. Get in there. And that thing just pops back in place. Let's see if we got any kind of radio power now. Boom, radio.
It could be that God has given you the opportunity to serve. When there's a need in front of you, don't try to go get something.
Yeah, known in California and New York.
Alrighty. Light switch. Switch is functional, dimmer's operating. Alright, we want it in two-wheel drive. All good. All functional. Okay, so there you have it. Which year models was that? No, that one was an 02. So if you got anything with that particular cluster, you'll recognize the cluster. If it's the same looking cluster, then that's going to be one of the repairs. That repair is associated almost all day long with the radio, the AC, the power windows. They all go out. Can't remember if anything else goes out. I don't know. Power door locks. It could be all of those. It could be 2 of those. It could be 3 of those. If you're having those symptoms and the cluster's acting funny in any way, it's likely the cluster. Very, very likely the cluster. So that's the repair for it. If that's a little bit more than you want to tackle, I understand. And there's plenty of guys out there that can help you out, including me. If you want to send it here, send it here. Not trying to run you off to one of my cohorts or anything, but we certainly do it, and we certainly appreciate your business, and I would appreciate it very much if you'd like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot, and I'll see y'all on the next one.